Greetings. We are here in JL. We're in Justice League headquarters, and I got to do this right here because I think the lighting. We're trying to get this lighting together, and so I got to do it like this. And so we have a guest that's going to be joining us, and they have some activities that's going on this month right here, but it appears that somehow the link, they did not get the link. And so that's what you're with me right now. He will be joining us shortly. And so again, we're in Justice League headquarters and there's a lot happening. So I know some of y'all, excuse me, have been looking at the issue with regards to Diddy. And so, so again, people are, upset. Some people upset. Some people are joyous. Some people are happy. Some people are right there in the middle with regards to what is going on with Diddy and the trial and what's going to happen with regard to his sentencing with regards to some of this. And, 50 Cent when it said that, like almost Diddy is almost like the Teflon Don also with regard to that, that he's almost akin to John Gotti. So that is what's happening in the world right now. And so all of it's all congruent with regard to what we're doing and the person we're going to have with us. And so, so we are here. Run Tell That. And we say, check out all our shows on Our Black Media. We're going to have the Rabble coming on at 8 o'clock. And of course, that's going to be one of the major conversations that they're going to have going on with regards to that. So again, Run Tell That. And again, we got all this happening right now. Again, coming up, it is the 4th of July coming up, the 5th of July, a long holiday for several people. And what we're looking at, people being safe during this holiday time period. And some people say, hey, it's time for the food. So we're going to enjoy ourselves here. And again, we hope that all you are safe with regards to that. Safe. And so again, we are here. Run Tell That. And excuse me, we will let you know this right here. We want you to be safe, but we also want you to understand, be concerned about the least and the left out. So that's why it's crucial that you be concerned about the least and the left out. Because again, some people, we can celebrate the freedoms of America. Some people don't have the joy of America. Some people do not have the joy of America. So just throw it on out there. Some people don't have the joy of America. And we got a lot of work to do and understand. We talk about beautiful bills and other things like that. And so some people, they still have a nightmare, with regards to their lifestyles. And so what we're going to do, so we have some things and we can make sure that folks are understanding and seeing what's happening here. And again, we want to celebrate who we are. We want to celebrate our country. We want to celebrate each other because we're in a time right now that America's in a crisis. America's in a crisis. And with this crisis, we need folks to understand. And this is my coach Sam Carter, giving me a call. So bear with me with regard to that. Yes, sir, Coach Carter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I'm sitting here stunned right now. No, sir. That's why I need to inquire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Active shooter. Yes, sir. I'm gonna jump on that. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So this is again took the phone call. I know Coach Carter's called me. It gotta be something. Right now, Oglethorpe Mall, there's an active shooter at the Oglethorpe Mall. The Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah, Georgia, Abercorn Street has been shut down. I think it's 7804. Abercorn Street has been shut down. Active shooter in the mall. Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah. That's why I say we're in a crisis right now. We're in this desperate time with regards to that. We're in a crisis. And so I'm saying to everyone, I'm gonna say this right here. I just got a phone call. I just got a phone call, and I know you might be on it. I just got a phone call. I had answered the phone. Coach Sam Carter said that there's an active shooter at the Oglethorpe Mall, and some of y'all let you know this is
Yeah,
Reverend Marco George, and he is in charge of the gun violence program. And so,
yeah, I
if
can
you say
confirm that. I am actually.
guess what?
Uh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, when I was trying to get in, I got a call from Savannah Police Department. Multiple victims been shot at Oglethorpe Mall. Some teenagers. From what we know, it was supposedly a gun battle. That's still speculation. It's an active scene. I'm on my way right now to Memorial Hospital. Um, I head up our rapid response when there's a shooting, particularly
Yes, sir.
young people between the ages of 12 and 25.
Yes, sir.
Um, we try to start that intervention at the hospital, um, and so I'm en route to Memorial Hospital right now as we speak
Yes,
to
sir.
check on this situation. I thank you for having me on. Greetings to the other that are on the call, and y'all pray for our city.
Yeah. So we had invited Reverend Marco George to come on the show because he has an event tomorrow that is going to be for these same young people who have been a part of this madness in the city, and that again, victims of gun violence and trying to help them. And so now that's why when the call came from Coach Sam Carter, he said what he said. I already said Reverend George probably already headed on over there, something like that. So I was just like, wow, this we're talking breaking news. This is like absolutely because they were asking the question, have other people, heard about it on the news. So yeah. And now he's listening to
Yeah,
you saying that there's multiple people, you know.
yeah. I saw on one phone a news alert about a shooting at Oglethorpe Mall, and as soon as I saw that, my phone started ringing, and it was one of the police captains calling me to inform me about the situation.
Yes, sir.
So and so I'm going to right now to check on that situation. But in
Yes,
reference
sir.
to your event that you mentioned, we're doing a cookout. We have some young men that are part of our Path Forward program. So we're hosting a cookout for them at Lake Mare tomorrow, just to do something a little fun and relaxed. They have been engaged all the entire month of June, from the 2nd of June up into today. We have taken them on various trips and outings. We've had speakers come in to speak life to them, to talk to them about decision making, uh, critical thinking. We actually have someone teaching them critical thinking and using
Mhm.
the chessboard as a tool, getting them to be able to
Yes.
think ahead. So these young men are engaged and ready to make some different choices, some different life choices. Some of them have already been justice involved. Some of them have been victims
Mhm.
of gun violence,
Yes.
and now they have engaged in this program to try to chart a new path forward. That's the name of the program, and
Mhm.
this program is the brainchild of our new uh, assistant city manager, chief, formerly the chief community service officer, Taffany Young, who this is her baby, and we're just blessed to be able to facilitate it and to continue pouring into the life of these young men. And we did have one young woman that completed the program last year, but this year we have 10 young men that are in the program, and looking forward for great things from these young men.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm still grappling the thing about multiple victims and say the parent almost like
Yeah, yeah. It's you know one of the premises behind the program is these young men. Like I said, some of them are trigger pullers. We figure we can keep them engaged throughout the summer. We would have less activities like this. Giving them something positive to do, and also allowing them to earn income, so they don't feel like they have to be involved in a life of crime. And showing them options to be able to make good money with just a high school diploma or GED. Not having to necessarily go and get the 4-year degree. If that's something they desire, we will do later on in the summer tours of Savannah Tech, Savannah State, and Georgia Southern University. And so those are all things, those options. We present all the options. But again, just trying to keep them engaged in positive activities so we have less incidents like what we're talking about right now that's actually going on right now as we speak at Oglethorpe Mall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you said that it appears to be multiple victims.
Yeah, that was the report I got. I'm heading, just getting off of the Truman now on Duran, heading to the emergency room to see what we got going on. And I'm just, prayerful that those who have been victims, that these are hopefully life-threatening.
And with that is not because again we have the physical, but then also it's the psychological, just the absolute trauma, because you have a ripple effect of that. You have a number of people. You got from people who are there, patrons who are there, to employees. Yes.
Yeah, you have that, and that's one of the things that our office tries to do, which is why I'm headed to the hospital. We try to bring the resources of the city to these victims, and like you say, even people who haven't been shot are victims. Those bystanders, those witnesses, like you say, those employees in the mall. They're traumatized because they don't know where the shooter is. They don't know what's happening. They may hear the gunshots, but you don't know if it's somebody shooting at you or what. So that's traumatic. And so one of the things we offer is therapeutic counseling. For people to be able to work through these things, because again, it is a traumatic event, and oftentimes those who have been the victims, if that trauma is not properly dealt with, they can in turn become the victimizer.
Right, exactly.
And so that is a big part of what we do. I'm not a licensed counselor or anything, but we do referrals. We work with several agencies in our community partners, and they are licensed counselors that we refer people to so that they can get the treatment that they need.
And so, Sister Ginger Murray, what's going on? We have Reverend Marco George. He's with the ONSE program, and that we were going to discuss about the event they have scheduled tomorrow. And he deals with victims of gun violence and people who are involved with regards to gun violence. And so there's an active shooter situation that occurred at Oglethorpe Mall, and that's why he was going to be on. So now he's at the emergency room, and so that's why the police cars you saw rushing down Duran, that's what it was about. So yes, sir.
Yeah, I just pulled up in the hospital, so I'm gonna have to jump off.
Yes, sir. So you just give the information again on tomorrow. What just schedule? You just let them know tomorrow at Lake Mare. What time?
Yeah, tomorrow at Lake Mare, we'll be out there from 11 to 3. Again, we're inviting our community partners out. We have we're inviting these young men and their parents out because we want to again minister to the whole family. Um, but um, we'll be there at Lake Mare, just again to have a time of fun and relaxation. As I say, these young men have been engaged all summer. I'm here at the hospital, and again,
Yes,
these
sir.
ambulances are starting to roll in.
Yes, sir.
So I
All right.
need them. So let me jump off again. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate
All
you
right. We
having me
appreciate
on,
it. Yes, sir.
and
We'll have you
we'll
back
be in
again.
touch.
Yes, sir. And we'll see you
All right,
tomorrow also. Yes, sir.
all right. See
All
you
right.
then.
Yes. So this is somewhat shocking, and actually, just like I shared earlier, Coach Sam Carter called me, and I knew if he called me, it had to be something going on, and so that's why he then told me that there's an active shooting situation at Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah, Georgia, on Abercorn Street. That they had a cordon off, again, active shooter, and then that again is so fortuitous that we were having Reverend Marco George with the city of Savannah with the onset program to come on and talk about the event that they have on tomorrow, which is tied to victims of gun violence or people who've been engaged in gun violence. And so we have done some things for them during the summer also. So that's why I want to have him. And in fact, said to Reverend George, how can we partner with you, or how can Hot 2100 Savannah, how can our Black media partner with them to at least try to alleviate some of this right here, and now for this to occur. So I knew that when Coach Carter told me that, I knew that Reverend George will have to be headed there, because that's the thing. When there are victims of gun violence, he is at the hospital. He goes to the hospital. That's one of his jobs with the city of Savannah. So, as I was sharing with y'all before he was coming on, that we're in a crisis right now. That again, this is a time of celebration. The 4th of July is going to be here in 2 days, and individuals are going to be celebrating the 4th of July. But there's a crisis here. The crisis is that we have other people who are victims, and that their lifestyle isn't being reflected with regards to what we see with regards to the enjoyment of America. We see for some of them, it's the nightmare of America. That's what's going on. We have the nightmare of America. And so we need to address this. We need to have conversations about this, and we brush it on off because we see it not being a part of our world. But just as I shared, that you could have been at Oglethorpe Mall, and again, that's not a part of your world, as you were going to say, but you could easily become a victim or been victimized by some of, again, the nightmare of the terror that is going on, and that in this country, we pride ourselves with regard to the Second Amendment right. And we say that guns don't kill people, people kill people with guns. But guess what? The education is still needed, and still yet the respect for life. And that again, and so we're still waiting. Preliminary report saying that it was several people shooting, at least the indication of several people shooting. And so, but again, I'm now concerned about the people who have been traumatized by this. And we have to have conversations about this. We have to address this in our communities. And when I say our community, we're talking about in the Savannah community. What needs to happen? And we have discussed this and said to people that we need to have activities and have events for young people here in this community. Why is that? So then that way the young people will have outlets, so they will not be caught up into some of this insanity. And that's what's going on. We have the insanity happening here, and we need to get this corrected. Because again, people around here not valuing the lives of other people, but then also not being able to handle conflict, which is a problem, which is an issue. So yes, I tell people that we cannot continue to let that happen. We cannot watch it. And that's what's going on. Some of us are standing on the sideline and we're watching it. I'm like, no, that is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be watching this. We're supposed to be stepping up to the plate and doing what we can to alleviate the problems for the people. That this cannot happen. This should not happen. And so we were able to report and give this almost like some on-the-spot news with regards to this, and so on, with regard to Reverend Marco George being to share some information with us that, again, that falls within the public domain. And so we are, just like Sister Deirdre Murray said, we have prayers out there for the families. And so we don't want the people to experience this, because again, no one should experience it. No young people should be experiencing thinking that this is a part of their world. And that's what happened for some people. It almost becomes like some people think a part of their world. We don't want them to think. We want this to be understood that this is an abnormality. This is an abnormality. And so we are here on Run Tell That, providing the information, and we're going to try to gain more information that people know, because we want people to be in tune to what's happening. And when I say in tune, making sure that people are safe and that people are being taken care of, and that if they were victims, that they are getting the proper care that is needed, and not something that's just brushed off, because this is much larger. That this is the surface. The shootings are part of a surface of the issues that are going on. Again, I say it is a part of the surface of the issues that are going on. That the shooting is just, it's not the end all and be all. It's just a part of the surface. That is some things that are underlying, that are much deeper. And we have to get this addressed. We are going to have to get this addressed. We must get this addressed. And so Run Tell That. What we're going to do, we're going to take a break and we'll come back. This is Run Tell That, Jamal Touré. And again, we had on earlier Reverend Marco George. And so we'll be right back.
Savannah, are you looking for some of the best Southern soul food? Then check out Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Boulevard. The food is so good, you'll think that your mother cooked it. Located in the heart of Savannah, Kim's has a menu that includes breakfast anytime, lunch when you need it, and dinner so you won't have to cook when you get home. They also cater all types of events and can host your reserved event at the restaurant. Come see what everyone has been raving about. Great food, great atmosphere, and a great time. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Boulevard in beautiful downtown Savannah.
Hey, Fort Wentworth, Savannah, Georgia, surrounding counties. I don't know if y'all know, but y'all got a good man that's trying to do good things for y'all city. Mr. Rufus Bright. Y'all need to go ahead and re-elect him because he's already been in office. But I don't know if y'all know all the good things and wonderful things he's been doing for the city. I don't know if y'all know who I am, but I'm Big Brother Dre. This is the Found First production. You know what I mean? I want to let y'all know that this has been brought to you by the committee to elect Rufus Bright for City Council of Fort Wentworth, Savannah, Georgia. But y'all need to tap in and tune in. You know what I mean? And keep following him and vote for him. Get out to those polls. You know what I'm saying? Get ready. You know what I mean? Don't hold back. Don't sit there and waste no time. Run to them polls and make sure you go and run and vote for Mr. Rufus Bright.
Vote for Rufus Bright. Vote for Rufus Bright. Vote for Rufus Bright. Vote for Rufus Bright. You want to see some brighter days? Vote for Rufus Bright. You want somebody who knows the way? Vote for Rufus Bright.
We are back. This is Run Tell That with Jamal Touré. We had on with us Reverend Marco George, but he had to leave because there's an active shooting situation occurrence at the Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah, Georgia. And we say to all of you to share, and to support the people who support us, so we're able to give out this information like we're doing right now. And so again, so Davis Johnson Bozeman law firm offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. One Price Clean is located in the Farmers Market in Garden City. Shep Food and Gas, don't ride by, stop by. And of course, Kim's Cafe. And so as it stands, we're dealing with this situation, an active shooting that has occurred, and that approximately we have multiple victims with regards to this. And we thank all y'all for looking at the show. And so right now we are actually being concerned about the people, again, the ones the least and the left out. And so that's what our job is, to go and share and provide information. And that's what we're seeking to do. And that we don't leave it up to other people, that we say we have to be the conduit for the change to help bring about the change that's desperately needed in our communities. And we thank each one of you all for supporting us, because you help us with regards to that call and that effort that is on all of us to do to change this world for a better place. And so right now we understand that we don't see that happening based on the fact of people shooting other people, and that the conflict being something that they think that's the only way that the conflict can be resolved. And you can't bring life back. We don't have the ability to bring life back as humans. That's what the Most High does, and none of us are the Most High. The Most High, it does not walk on earth with us. And so and this is again, for now, we have Brother Imar, and that's what I tell him, 7804 Abercorn Street, and that's what we had shared at the Oglethorpe Mall. And we put it out there and let folks understand this is crucial that it's happening. You got parents right now coming for their children, looking for their children, and this is a sad situation. Again, we have to address gun control in this country is a problem. Gun control in the problem is a problem because humans, just like I say, guns don't kill people, but humans make sure the guns are at the disposal of people to kill and harm one another, and that we tend to fight against any elements of gun control, which is almost maniacal. It is insane. And so that's why we have situations like this occurring. So in Savannah, Georgia, and so we have young people right now who are traumatized by that. We have possibly elders out there who are also not traumatized, being victimized by this violence that took place. And so we have to address that and have to be on top of that. And so we appreciate, again, Reverend Marco George coming on, because they have an event tomorrow at Lake Mare, and that's starting at 9 o'clock. And so they have food, they have some fun for the people who want to come and support them. You know, as I said, they're partners with regards to that at Lake Mare here off of Montgomery Crossroad. And we are praying for and putting it up there to the Most High, the protection of the people who were there in the mall, and that there's no harm, no harm has already happened, but no, there's no further harm, and that there can be a recovery that comes in the place of recovery that can be healed, a healed recovery. That again, what we're dealing with, we're looking at this situation with regard to people here in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia, and that we hope that there are no loss of life with regards to this. We are saddened by this. We are sickened by this, and we understand need to be changed. And as I shared with people as we first came on the show, that we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis, and people not understanding we're in a crisis because again, we're living in these ivory towers and these ivory balls, not understanding what the reality is. And so we got to address that. We have to address it, and we want to do what's right. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. And so what I'm going to do, this goes in line, not with regards to this, and that with Reverend Marco George, I was going to play a video, and so I'm going to do the video for y'all. It pertains to another issue that tied into gun violence. So we're going to throw that on out there to you all.
Peace and blessing. I'm in historic Talbot Cemetery here in the Pope community on Hilton Head Island. And y'all know a part of our tradition before you come into the cemetery is to ask for permission. So we do that with our ancestors. And what happened 25 years ago, the late Chester Dunham said to a group of people when we were dealing with the anniversary of the civil rights movement in Savannah, the 50 plus years of civil rights in Savannah, the movement, Chester said to them at this Lutheran church on 37th Street in Savannah, he said, you know what I love about Jamal? Jamal give them preachers hell. Jamal give them preachers hell. I didn't look at it like that. It was just that I didn't respect the fact that some people think because they have a title, like they're not supposed to be questioned, or that you can't say anything to them. And some people get caught up into that you ain't supposed to address them. That's incorrect. We all have a ministry. We all have the ability. We all connected to God. I'm a minister, so again, some people don't realize that. But that's another story about being a table tapper. But what I'm saying right now, I'm saying this right here. You have churches where you have people struggling to pay their tithes and giving their benevolent offerings who struggle to go and do that, and they're losing their property, have lost their property at the courthouse steps. They lost their property at the sheriff's sales in the Gullah Geechee area. That's what, again, I'm saying Gullah Geechee area, but I know it's around the entire country. I'm just focusing on us right now, here in this area right here. But it applies to everyone. You have, again, members of churches who lost their property, can't afford to pay their property taxes, and they're giving tithes and offerings at the church. And the church don't help them. What I'm saying right now to Gullah Geechee churches in this area right here, from Jacksonville, North Carolina, down to St. Augustine, Florida, pockets in Oklahoma and Southern Tejas, Southern Texas, yo, check this out. What you need to be doing, that your benevolence and anything else, that you need to be finding out which one of your members in your churches are about to lose their property or because of tax sale issues, because of property tax issues. You need to find out and then do something about it and recover the property for those people right there. Start up a fund to deal with property taxes. The church, I'm throwing out there to one of the greatest institutions that we have in the Gullah Geechee area and also in the black community across the entire country. We need you all now to go and find out which one of your members are about to lose their property based on property taxes, then lose all ownership. So throwing out that that's a challenge that the churches need to be doing right now. Because if your ministers haven't been talking about that and doing stuff like that, you might need to find you another church to go to and find people who are going to be more progressive, who are going to help you keep your property. They have a responsibility. One of the first African spirits to ever be manifested for folks, especially on Hilton Head, was Bride Joe. Bride Joe, and some relatives said, "You were Bride Joe." We brought Bride Joe, and that was in the 90s. Bride Joe also told us, Joe Walters told us, don't sell land. Bride Joe told us, don't sell the land, don't sell the land. But later on, I learned to have a conversation with Tom Barnwell. Tom Barnwell then said that we don't sell land, we lease land. So I learned that. That's where it comes from, off of Hilton Head. Bride Joe told us not to sell land. These ancestral land, that you don't sell the land. So now churches, guess what? You all can do is create a fund to help members of the church be able to still hold on to their lands. You got to be ingenious with the word of God and manifest the word of God in the lives of the people. Don't be holding back with regard to that knowledge and doing what's right for the people, especially within your own congregation. I ain't say outside your congregation, I say within your congregation. So Bride Joe said, don't sell land, bam, keep it in the family. So that's what the churches can keep it in the family also for some of their church members.
That's right. Just apprising people of what's happening, what's going on, and that it appears to be that 7 to 8 people have been wounded, and many of them appear to be under the age of 25 years old. And so that is happening in our community right here. Just want to apprise the people, because again, we said the breaking news, there's an active shooting situation that occurred at Oglethorpe Mall here in Savannah, 7804 Abercorn Street here. And so we are apprising people of that. And so I just played that video for you all to show and have a conversation about this right here, that we see people engaging in conflicts with communities and over communities that they don't own. They do not own the communities. They do not own the communities. They do not own the property. In some cases, they are renting the property. They're renting where they live. That means someone else can come and buy the property and displace them or put them out. Put them out, put their parents out, put their grandparents out, put out their guardians and their custodians. So again, that is what we're dealing with. And that's why I said this is a crisis that we're in. And we got to get this addressed. We got to get this addressed because it is insanity. It is insanity. It is people who have no love of self. And so because they don't have love of self, they don't love the people who look just like them. And that is a part of what we deal with. That is what we're grappling with. People who don't have no love for self, and then will go and cause harm to people who are around them. And then it spills on over to other people who have nothing to do with any of this insanity that they're engaging in. And we appreciate all of y'all looking at the show and supporting our Black Media and supporting Run Tell That. And we said thank you for that. But then we have to do the work to alleviate and bring about change. It is crucial that we bring about change. And we have people that are standing idly by while all this is happening. And they see it, and I might say, no, we can no longer stand idly by, because just like right now, here you go, people looking to go to the mall and just go shopping, that now they're caught in this situation right here. And so history and culture. And so this is a part of, we want to share some things with you about history and culture in this next video right here, that again, what we're dealing with, what we're engaging in, this, giving the people a sense of pride.
His contributions, and I would like to start telling Savannah's story more nuanced.
The Huston House, built on Butler Island, was a mansion built in a former rice plantation. And like the Owens Thomas House, enslaved people lived and worked there. WJCL 22 News' Tia Maggio took a trip to the site of the Huston House, which burned down last summer.
For nearly 200 years, the Houston House stood tall in coastal Georgia, one of the largest plantations in Georgia. It's a symbol of wealth built on the backs of the enslaved.
It was originally owned by the Butler family, and the Butler family enslaved hundreds of individuals on that property.
These Africans there who were experiencing, horrors beyond what many of us can even conceptualize today.
The property is tied with the largest auction of slaves in U.S. history, known as the Weeping Time. In 1859, over 400 enslaved people were sold at the Ten Brack racetrack in what's now West Savannah.
During the auction, which lasted about 3 days, there was a violent rainstorm.
It continues to rain because they say now it's the heavens crying. It's God crying that you see these families not being torn apart.
A significant reminder of our country's wrongs.
They will make millions of dollars off of the sale of those human assets. And so their story becomes a part of the moral tear in America.
But in 2024, the Houston House burned to the ground.
And it was a tragic loss for the state of Georgia. My understanding is that there was a vagrant living in the house that set a fire that caused it to burn down. And
now, as the remains linger, the fate of the house is unknown. Many pushing for the land where slaves once toiled to be a place for education, reflection, and honor.
It should be accessible to the public. There should be interpretive signs there so people can learn about the horrific history of enslavement there at Butler Island.
Continue to tell the story. And so that what you all are doing, you're telling the story that people need to hear, because again, this is an American story.
Reporting on Butler Island, Tia Maggio, WJCL 22 News.
People came to the scene of that fire to watch the flames destroy the house. It is said that the flames could be seen for miles. Next on
We're back. And so again, history and culture. And so in that, people will want to celebrate and talk about the Houston House. But then, as I shared with them, that I wasn't concerned about the house burning down. That was not my major concern about the house burning down. I said, I'm more concerned about the people who brought about the wealth for them to be able to even do that on Butler Island. That again, the wealth came from Africans who were there. Africans who were held in captivity, that now caused them to not have this wealth, and that later on the Butlers are not able to still pass on generational wealth. But then guess what? The Africans lived in hovels. And so that's why when they asked me about that, I said, I'm not concerned about a hovel. About that house, when Africans had a hovel and they had a ditch, a cesspool in back of them. So again, understanding that's why I said, when you understand part of the origins of what African people had to go through and what they dealt with, that some things you don't even get caught up into with the day. That is, again, it's engaging in ignorance, it's engaging in stupidity and insanity. So that's why some of it, I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned about something that's right here when I understand my ancestors endure more than what most of you can even imagine. They endure that. So I am here. So I have an obligation to fight and to make sure to bring some recompense with regards to their lives. So it's like, no, I'm like, you can't get me to want to just celebrate and talk about that house burning down. And so, yeah, some people came to watch and see it burn, because that house was built 1900. So it's not even the house from that time period. Again, when the horrors that went on Butler Island, that again, women giving stillbirths, constant having stillbirths, women with miscarriages. So yes, infant mortality and children rate skyrocket high. So we're here again, have a situation that occurred here in Savannah, Georgia, with an active shooter with approximately, some say 7 to 8 people wounded, and that appears that they are under, the bulk are under, or many under the age of 25 years old. So young adults, young people caught up into this tragic situation. And again, people say guns don't kill people, people kill people. And so we got to get that addressed on how we now measure and mete out justice with regards to this, and about equity and fairness. Because again, since the guns are not killing the people, so we need to create some policies in place to restrict the people from killing people by using guns. Again, I'll throw it out there. We need to create some policies to be put in place to restrict the people from using guns to kill people. Because again, guns don't go and they don't fire at someone. They have to be aimed by some human beings. So let's get the policies in place to restrict the human beings. Let's look at that. Let's find a way to restrict the human beings with regards to their weapons. And so again, people say infringement upon my rights and Second Amendment, that some would say the Second Amendment, some of that was tied to the fact of, especially in the South, that Africans seeking to have freedom, that they got to make sure they have something in place to address, say, a foreign invasion, but also a domestic invasion of people seeking freedom. So that's something that comes into play. And we want folks to understand that policies are needed with regards to this. Imagine if it was your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother who were out there. Again, your relative out there, somebody close to you out there, your loved one out there. And so this is what we're facing. These are the times that we're in. As I shared earlier, like, again, we're in the state of a crisis right now. We're in the state of a crisis, and this crisis got to come to an end. We got to get this crisis to come to an end because America is in need of a healthy lifestyle. America is in need of healthy living, because America has a psychosis. America is in need of mental health. Again, America is in need of mental health. America has gone off the deep end, and the deep end now causing people to cause harm to other folks, killing other people, that again, and causing harm to other people, wounding other people, traumatizing other people, because that's what's happening. People are traumatized. Folks are traumatized. That you got the ones who physically been shot, but then also you have the trauma that is lingering, that is there. And so we got to get this addressed. We got to find a way to fight for our people and to prevent this insanity from still being a part of the norm. It is insane, and let us find the ways to address that and to fight it. This is a sad situation all around. Because those people who did this, when it comes down to it, simply, we got to address it. It has to be addressed. We got to address it. And this is Rontel that, and we are happy for all of you all joining us. And we are still assessing the situation with regards to what happened here in Savannah, Georgia, and with regards to the active shooting. We are still assessing that. So again, America has a problem with guns. America has a problem with violence, and that they like to victimize people who are poor. And so, but then punish people who, a slap on the wrist on other people who engage in the worst violence. And so just like we had the situation out in Idaho, that you have an individual who not engaged in that. And we hope that the people here will not experience that same pain and anguish that some folks, the loss of life in other parts of the country. So we're not saying that we're special. We just want to pray for the people who are right here to make sure that they're able to recover, their families able to recover. So this is time for us to come together, because I said we're in a day right now that we're in a crisis, and that we have a nightmare happening here in the United States. The nightmare is happening and is ongoing. And so this segment of Run Tell That, we'll be back with you all And with Run Tell That, we try to provide information for the community and to uplift the community. So this right here is showing that we have an issue in our community and we need to address it. And we need everyone to come together. Don't shy away from it. Come together. Let all of us come together as one. And so we said, check out all our shows on Our Black Media. The rap will come up at 8 o'clock, and they'll be discussing the P. Diddy matter, the P. Diddy trial. But then also, I'm sure they're going to probably discuss the situation that happened here in Savannah, Georgia at the Oglethorpe Mall. And this has been Run Tell That. And we said, check out the shows on Hot 2100. And we have this great show that has now come up called Hot Grits in the Morning with the Crash Dummies. And so it was a great show. And so we said support them with regards to that. Yeah, have mad fun and respect with regards to that. So yes, so this is Run Tell That. And check out all our shows on Our Black Media and also check out Hot 2100 Savannah.
Like this.